Your thoughts are the very first architects of your day. The moment you open your eyes, your inner voice begins to design the path ahead. If the first words you whisper are fear, then fear writes the script of your day. But if the first words you declare are filled with certainty, then power takes command before the world has any chance to tell you who you are, what you're worth, or where you're going. You must step in as the leader of your mind. You must speak to yourself, not casually, but with precision, with clarity, with deep, unshakable conviction. Words are not just sound, they are blueprints. These statements you give yourself are not empty slogans. They are battle-forged affirmations that build discipline, awaken stillness, and train the mind for greatness. When you say them with intent, you are programming the rhythm of your day. Speak them in front of your reflection, and you will watch as your reality bends toward the truth you've chosen. First, today I direct my own energy. I do not pour it into proving, into pleasing, or into endless explanations. Every moment I chase the approval of others, I abandon my own strength. I remind myself this morning that I am not here to be understood by everyone, agreed with by everyone, or liked by everyone. I am here to walk in harmony with who I truly am. The instant I twist myself to satisfy expectations, I break the integrity that makes me whole. My energy is not cheap, not limitless. It is sacred, rare, and powerful. I refuse to exchange it for shallow acceptance from those who cannot see my purpose. I am not a reflection of their opinions. I am the outcome of my choices, my discipline, and my awareness of self. I owe no explanation to those committed to misunderstanding me. I do not seek claps from those who never supported me in silence. The hunger to prove myself is a trap, and today I select freedom instead. Peace is not handed to me by others, it is mine from within, and I guard it as if it were gold. When I say no to distraction, to gossip, to unnecessary drama, I am saying yes to clarity, to calm, and to confidence. I will no longer offer myself emotionally to endless cycles of guilt, to patterns of people-pleasing, or to the exhausting chase for validation. I will not defend who I am. I will live who I am. That is enough. Because the strongest form of power I can carry is quiet certainty. Certainty does not argue. It does not beg. It does not explain. It moves forward. That is my choice. I command my morning, my thoughts, my energy. I move with quiet assurance and steady boundaries. I am no longer accessible to what drains me. My peace is my weapon, and I wear it today like armor. Second, I am not the person I was yesterday. I carry new wisdom, and that wisdom is my foundation. Every experience, every setback, every wound, and every confusion has carved lessons into me deeper than any book could teach. I have faced nights of silence and days of doubt. Yes, I stumbled, but I never stayed down. I rose, I listened, I learned. Yesterday's self did not see what I see now, did not know what I know now, did not protect boundaries as firmly as I do now. That is not shameful, it is honorable. Growth often arrives without applause. Sometimes it comes in a quiet moment when I respond differently, when I say no, firmly, when I choose not to repeat a pattern. That is wisdom. Not loud, not boastful, but steady. I refuse to define myself by who I once was, because that version carried me to this moment. That older self made choices, endured storms, survived struggles, and kept standing. I honor that past self, but I will not drag the weight of old mistakes or outdated stories into my present. I no longer need to explain my growth to anyone. I do not need to apologize for healing, for changing, for becoming someone unexpected. I walk forward, not with arrogance, but with strength, rooted in reality. After enough storms, you stop asking to be understood. You begin to be unshakably yourself. I have traded reaction for response, needing for choosing, rushing for trusting. I do not chase what I once chased, because I see what truly matters now. Peace over drama, depth over attention, growth over comfort. That shift in vision is wisdom, and I wear it like protection. Transformation does not shout. It simply walks differently. And I walk differently now, because I am better than others, but because I am better than who I used to be. That is the goal, not perfection, not applause, progress. So today, I walk on new ground. Not of fear, not of regret, but of wisdom carved by experience. Every step I take echoes one truth. I am no longer who I was yesterday, and that is my greatest proof of evolution. Third, I take on hard things not because they are simple, but because I was built for them. Every challenge that stretches me beyond my comfort is not punishment, it is transformation. Discomfort does not mean I am weak. It means I am growing. The easy path never forged extraordinary people. It is the steep climb, the uncertain turn, the demanding weight that produces unshakable strength. I do not fear struggle anymore, because I understand struggle means I am in motion. I am not stagnant. I am advancing. I was not designed for convenience. I was designed for purpose. And purpose often hides itself inside resistance. Each time I choose discipline over distraction, resilience over retreat, courage over comfort, I prove to myself that I am larger than any excuse, tougher than any obstacle, and stronger than any doubt. Yes, there will be moments when the burden feels too much and the way ahead seems foggy. But even then, I rise. Not because it is simple, but because giving up would betray the strength I have built for years. I no longer wait for the perfect time or sudden sparks of motivation. I move because I have trained my mind to see difficulty as a gift. Difficulty is not a locked wall. It is a doorway, and walking through it is how I rise. Resilience is not a scream. It is a decision. It is the steady choice to continue when no one applauds. The relentless showing up even when the voice inside says, "Stop." My body may ache. My mind may doubt. But my spirit refuses to collapse. I know now that pressure creates diamonds, not excuses. I no longer shrink from hard things. They do not intimidate me. They call me. They ask me to dig deeper, to uncover my highest self. I have already survived what once threatened to break me. That knowledge alone gives me courage to keep going. So today, when the difficulties arrive, then they will lie. We'll meet them not with fear, but with certainty. Because I do not search for easy. I search for growth. And I am built for this. Fourth, I do not wait for permission. I move with inner authority, with a green light that comes from within. I finally see that no one else holds the keys to my destiny but me. I no longer sit idle, hoping for validation, for applause, or for someone to crown me worthy. I already am. Too many dreams have died in the waiting room of approval. Too many gifts have been buried beneath the fear of rejection. I refuse to let my life become another of those graves. I am not here to check boxes others set for me, to follow their schedules, or to shrink so they feel comfortable. My life is not a community vote, it is a personal mission. And my mission has already received my approval. For too long, I dimmed my light to avoid judgment. For too long, I questioned my intuition and delayed my vision. But I realize now playing small does not protect me, nor does it serve the world. I no longer need external signatures on my dream when the blueprint is already engraved in my soul. I trust my voice, my instincts, my timing. Waiting for permission is handing over my power to people who don't even know my purpose, and I cannot afford that anymore. Courage is not found in cheers from the crowd. Courage is in the silent decision to back yourself when no one claps. I am not here to blend in. I am here to step forward, to take up the space I was born to occupy. My worth is not a debate, it is a fact. I walk in. When hesitation tempts me, when doubt knocks, I remind myself that my spirit has already chosen me. I don't need permission to evolve, to start, to lead. Each morning I give myself the only command I need. Go forward. go, because the greatest permission I'll ever need has already been granted by me to me. Fifth, I attract people and opportunities aligned with my highest standards. I have learned that what I tolerate is what I invite, and I refuse to keep opening the door to anything that drains me, disrespects me, or makes me smaller. I no longer accept half-hearted connections, inconsistent energy, or spaces where I must shrink to belong. My life mirrors what I believe I deserve, and each time I raise my standard, I declare to the universe that I am ready for more. I do not chase, I align. I do not beg, I rise. The right people and the right opportunities never require me to betray my peace, abandon my values, or lower my vibration. I am done romanticizing struggle. I am done tolerating dysfunction disguised as love. I am not moved by presence alone. I am moved by consistency, integrity, and emotional maturity. Growth demands letting go not from bitterness, but from clarity. You ascend when you decide what you will no longer tolerate. Draining conversations, confusing relationships, destructive habits. By protecting my boundaries, I create space for better things to arrive. I realize I don't need a crowd, I need alignment. I don't need endless attention, I need mutual respect. I don't need countless opportunities, I need the right ones. I am not afraid to walk alone if it means walking in truth, because the right people and doors always meet you when you refuse to settle for less. So each day, I carry myself as one who deserves the best, not from arrogance, but from awareness. I've done the inner work, I've faced my patterns, I've raised my standards, and now I magnetize only what reflects that. I don't tolerate chaos dressed as passion, or confusion pretending to be potential. I upgrade my life by upgrading my standards, and the evidence of that shift speaks louder than explanations. I attract what I reflect, and what I reflect is strength, clarity, and undeniable worth. Sixth, I am not chained to my past. I am the builder of my next chapter. My history shaped me, but it will never define me. My mistakes, my regrets, my wrong turns they are not prisons, they are lessons. I honor them not by repeating them, but by building something greater because of them. I have walked through storms, but I will not let yesterday's rain flood today's promise. I have been broken, but I am not broken. I have been tested, but I am not defeated. I have stumbled, but I always moved forward. That is my strength, power of choice, of authorship. I no longer sit on the sidelines, waiting for life to change. I take the pen, and I write the next line boldly. Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about refusing to let it chain me. I will not live and rewind. I will not hand the pen to old stories. I am not here to repeat chapters out of guilt or comfort. I am here to write new ones. My next chapter is not built on shame, but on strength. It will not orbit around loss, but around wisdom. The most powerful sentence I can write is, "This is not how my story ends." I have outlasted old patterns, outlived old pain, and outgrown the version of myself who thought survival was enough. Now I want more. Peace, purpose, joy, fulfillment. And I know it is mine to create. My scars are not shameful. They are proof that I made it. My detours are not failures. They are pathways to something better. My story is still alive, still evolving, still mine. I hold the pen. I am the architect, and the strongest chapter begins today. Seventh, I choose focus over noise, clarity over confusion, mission over mood. I understand now that my true power lies in what I give my attention to. And in a world always shouting for it, I have learned to listen only to what aligns with my purpose. Distractions no longer dictate me. Feelings no longer derail me. I have trained discipline to remain locked in, even when my emotions beg for escape. My goals don't care if I am tired, doubtful, or unmotivated, and neither does my future. I do not chase motivation. I chase meaning. I chase the life I know I am capable of. That requires ruthless focus. The noise will always exist. Scrolling, temptations, self-doubt, but I rise above the noise. Clarity rarely appears on its own. Sometimes you must fight for it, by cutting away chaos, by being brutally honest about what you want. I do not glorify busy anymore. I honor being clear. If something does not support my vision, it does not receive my energy. If it does not serve my mission, it does not get my time. Success is not only talented, is the discipline to prioritize what matters while everything else pulls at you. There will be days when my emotions whisper lies. It's not working, you're not enough. But that is when I double down. That is when I grow quiet and return to my focus. Focus is my freedom. It grounds me when all else feels shaky. It builds momentum when nothing feels certain. What I prioritize becomes my power, and I choose to be powerful. I choose to be clear, focused, committed. The noise does not decide. My path I decide, and that decision, made daily, separates who I was from who I am becoming. 8th, I allow myself to be both deeply grateful for what I already hold and hungry for what is still ahead. I have learned that gratitude and ambition are not enemies, they are allies. Gratitude is not a chain holding me back. Gratitude is the foundation that fuels my climb. I no longer feel guilty for desiring more while appreciating what I have. Because true gratitude does not mean settling. It means honoring the present while still moving toward the future. I sit in this moment and acknowledge, I am proud of the distance I've traveled. I am thankful for the lessons carved into me, for the people who stood by me, and for the quiet victories no one saw. But that acknowledgement does not signal the finish line. Gratitude is not the end, it is the launch pad. I can love the now while leaning forward into the next. Wanting more does not mean I am ungrateful. It means I honor my potential. It means I respect the fire inside me that refuses to stop growing. I am not chasing more because I lack something. I am chasing more because alignment calls me there. I see the bigger picture. I was made to expand beyond comfort, beyond old wins, beyond yesterday's version of success. I no longer dim my ambition to appear humble. Real humility is not shrinking it, is recognizing my gifts and choosing to fully use them. Gratitude grounds me. Hunger drives me. One anchors, the other propels. Together they make me unstoppable. I do not compare my pace to anyone else's. I do not rush, but I refuse to remain stagnant when growth calls my name. I can honor this chapter while preparing the next. I can love where I stand and still envision where I will go. This is not conflict, it is clarity. I am not finished, not because I lack peace, but because I live with purpose. My gratitude keeps me steady, my hunger keeps me climbing, and in that balance, I thrive. 9th, I am no longer available for anything that costs me my peace. Peace is not optional. Peace is not a luxury. It is the foundation of my strength, and if something threatens it, it is too expensive. I will not trade it for familiarity, temptation, or obligation. My peace is not for negotiation. I do not explain it. I do not excuse it. I used to open my doors too easily, making myself available to chaos, to guilt, to circular conversations, to people who only appeared when they needed something, but not anymore. My boundaries now reflect my worth. Not everyone earns access. Just because I can handle stress does not mean I should accept it. Just because I can carry the weight does not mean it belongs to me. I do not engage to fix others, to prove my point, or to maintain connections that deplete me. If it disturbs my calm, drains my joy, or unbalances my spirit, it is not welcome. Peace is not passive, is active. It is a daily decision, a discipline, a boundary. Peace is not found in escape, but in the courage to walk away from what does not align with me. I refuse to carry dysfunction that others refuse to fix. My boundaries are not walls, they are gates. and I am the one who decides who enters. I own no access to anyone just because of history, blood, or expectation. Growth demands I release what costs too much of in, if it once felt necessary. I protect my energy like currency, and the highest return I can ask for is peace. I do not argue. I do not over-explain. I do not dance with chaos. I simply exit calmly, silently, completely. And in that silence, the loudest truth speaks. I am worth protecting. So today, and every day forward, I declare peace, not as a reaction, but as my identity. 10th, I am already enough, and still, I rise to become more. For too long, I believed growth required lack, that ambition had to be born from feeling unworthy. I confused self-improvement with self-criticism. I chased goals, not to expand, but to fill an imagined void, until I realized the truth. I was never broken, never incomplete. I was always evolving. Now I know self-worth and ambition are not rivals. They are partners. I grow not because I am empty, but because I am ready to expand, to shine, to evolve into the fullest version of myself. I do not chase greatness to prove my value. I embody value as I reach for greatness. That shift changes everything, because every step forward is not an escape from flaws, but a celebration of potential. I am worthy before the milestone. I am enough before the outcome. I am whole before the applause. My value is not waiting in the distance, it is present now. I am not in competition with others. I am in alignment with my purpose. That is why I rise with love, not lack. With power, not pressure. I rise because evolution is my nature. Becoming more does not mean abandoning who I already am. It means honoring what I have survived and what I still aspire to. I can be proud of my progress and hungry for more. I do not dim my light to seem humble, nor shrink my dreams to gain acceptance. My worth is the soil, my ambition, the seed. Together, they grow something unstoppable. I move forward not because I am not enough, but because enough is my starting point. Greatness is my direction. Today I stand in truth. I am already whole, grounded, worthy, and still I rise. Not from fear, but from freedom. I rise because I can. I rise because I choose to. I rise because my life is not a broken puzzle to repair, but a masterpiece still unfolding. 11th. Whatever arrives today, I remain grounded, steady, and unshaken, because I have learned that true strength is not about avoiding strength, is about knowing who you are when storms arrive. Life will deliver chaos, setbacks, and uncertainty. But I no longer flinch, not because I am immune, but because I have built a foundation that does not collapse. I have faced battles, endured nights where I was my own light, and survived moments designed to break me. And yet here I stand, not bitter, not broken, but anchored, balanced, and bold. When winds rise and tests come, I do not panic. I breathe. I stand tall. I remember who I am. Storms do not terrify me. They awaken me. They summon my hidden strength. I do not pray for easier days. I prepare for whatever may come with the mindset that says, let it come. I have already overcome worse. I am not defined by what happens to me, but by how I respond. My response is built on peace, resilience, and faith in my ability to endure. I no longer need control to feel calm. I find calm in the middle of chaos because I trust myself. I have become my own anchor, my own shelter, my own stability. When the ground shakes, I remain steady. I do not just survive storms, I grow through them. Every challenge is a call to rise higher. Every difficulty is a mirror showing me my capacity. I do not collapse under weight. I carry it. I work through it. I walk forward stronger, so no matter what today delivers joy, or pain, ease, or hardship, I remain unshaken. My peace is rooted, my soul is firm, my strength proven. I am unbreakable. I am ready. 12th, I honor the silence within me, for it is in silence that clarity speaks. The world shouts endlessly, demanding my attention, flooding me with noise. But within me lies a deeper voice that can only be heard when I choose stillness. I do not fear solitude anymore. I do not run from quiet. I embrace it as my greatest teacher. Because silence reveals what noise hides. It shows me the truth of who I am without distraction. It strengthens my awareness, sharpens my intuition, and recenters my path. Every day, I carve out space to hear myself. Not the opinions of others, not the endless chatter of comparison, but my own soul whispering what is real. I have learned that silence is not empty. Silence is full of answers. In quiet moments, I rediscover my focus, my purpose, and my strength. The world often confuses busyness with progress, but I know better now. True progress is born when I align inwardly, when my thoughts and actions are guided by clarity, not chaos. Silence is not weakness, it is power under control. It is the discipline of turning down the volume outside, so I can listen to the wisdom within. 13th, I choose discipline over desire, consistency over convenience. Motivation may spark, but it is discipline that sustains. I no longer wait to feel like it. I no longer let moods decide my mission. I move because my purpose demands it. Desire can fade, excitement can vanish, but discipline stays. Discipline is my silent ally, my steady companion, my unwavering guide. Every time I act despite resistance, I am sharpening the edge of my character. Every time I follow through when no one is watching, I strengthen my inner trust. Discipline is not punishment. It is respect for the vision I carry. I know now that freedom is not the absence of structure, it is the reward of self-mastery. The undisciplined mind becomes a prisoner to impulses, but the disciplined mind becomes a creator of destiny. There are mornings when I do not want to rise, evenings when quitting whispers louder than persistence. But in those moments, I remind myself, I have chosen this path. I have declared this purpose. I am stronger than a passing mood. My body may resist, but my spirit leads. I honor my vision not by waiting for inspiration, but by training my mind to act regardless. And that consistency builds a life no temporary desire could ever create. 14th, I release comparison. I no longer measure my journey by the steps of others. Their pace is not my pace. Their purpose is not my purpose. The endless race of comparison only steals joy, and I refuse to be robbed of joy any longer. My only competition is with who I was yesterday. My only goal is to become a deeper, wiser, stronger version of myself. The truth is, I do not need to run someone else's race. I was given my own path, my own mountain, my own battles. What is meant for me cannot be taken by anyone else. What belongs to me will not miss me. So I release the need to measure myself against others. I celebrate their wins without questioning my worth. I admire their progress without doubting mine. I rise with them, but I never compare myself to them. Comparison breeds scarcity. Alignment breeds abundance, and I choose abundance. My journey may look different. It may take longer. It may twist and turn, but it is mine. And because it is mine, it is perfect for me. 15th, I transform pain into power. Every wound I've carried, every scar I bear, has given me wisdom nothing else could teach. Pain has been my mentor. It showed me my breaking points, and then it showed me that I could go beyond them. I do not hide my scars. They are not shame. They are evidence of my resilience. They prove that I faced storms and still stood tall. I no longer ask, why me? I ask, what is this teaching me? Pain is no longer an enemy, it is a mirror. It reveals where I must grow, what I must release, and how much strength I already carry. I understand now that my struggles were not punishments, they were preparations. Each hardship trained me for greater responsibility. Each heartbreak deepened my compassion. Each setback sharpened my focus. So when pain arrives again, then I will not collapse. I will not curse it. I will welcome it as a tool. I will turn it into wisdom. I will turn it into resilience. I will turn it into fire. Pain may visit, but it will never defeat me, because I choose to turn suffering into strength. 16th, I embody presence. I do not live in the past replaying what cannot be changed. I do not live in the future, consumed by worries of what has not yet arrived. I live here now, in this breath, in this step. The present moment is the only real space where life unfolds. And when I fully step into it, I feel my power. I have wasted enough time regretting yesterday or fearing tomorrow. I choose instead to experience this moment with clarity. I notice the details. I feel the air. I breathe deeply. I exist fully, and in presence, I find peace. Presence is not passive, is alive. It sharpens my awareness, ignites my senses, and allows me to act from strength rather than reaction. When I am present, I am free. Free from old stories, free from future fears, free from distractions that pull me away from what is real. In presence, I realize that life is not something to wait for. It is something happening now. 17th, I step boldly into my vision. I refuse to live small, waiting for the perfect conditions. I understand now that perfection is an illusion. Waiting for certainty only breeds regret. The moment to begin is always now. I carry within me the fire, the wisdom, and the strength to create. And each step I take, no matter how uncertain, builds momentum. I do not ask if I am ready. I decide I am ready. I do not ask if I am worthy. I know I am worthy. I do not wait for the world to confirm my vision. I confirm it with my action. Each day I rise, I plant seeds for a future that will bloom in its time. And while others wait for signs, I move with faith. Faith is not waiting for evidence. Faith is acting without needing it. I know my vision is real because it burns inside me. That is enough. I do not need applause. I do not need validation. I need action. And I take it boldly. 18th, I embrace becoming. I no longer chase a finish line where I believe I will finally be complete. Life is not about arriving. It is about evolving. I am not a project to finish. I am a masterpiece in progress. And progress is beautiful. Every day I am becoming stronger, wiser, calmer, more awake. I celebrate the process, not just the destination. I celebrate the lessons, not just the outcomes. I celebrate the journey itself, because the journey is the gift. I do not demand perfection from myself. I honor growth. I do not punish myself for mistakes. I honor learning. I do not rush to the end. I walk steadily, embracing the transformation as it unfolds. And so, with every sunrise, I remind myself, I am not chasing the old version of me. I am not rushing to become a future version of me. I am simply honoring who I am becoming here. Now, one breath, one choice, one step at a time.